Right in time for harvest, we would like to introduce to you the 5 types of cereal we grow on our farm. The first cereal is spelt. Spelt is also the term for the husk that surrounds and protects the actual grain. In order to use the spelt grain for baking, the husks are being removed in a process called threshing. Husks can then be used as filling material for cushions. Spelt husks also serve as perfect extra bedding in group nests of free-range chicken. Spelt is a highly useful crop, particularly in organic farming, as increased fertilization does not result in higher yields. This makes spelt ideal for extensive cultivation. We sell our spelt to the Huber mill in Hoburg. Already 1,000 years ago, Hildegard of Bingen, a German Benedictine abbess, Christian visionary and founder of scientific natural history of Germany, reported about the harmonizing effect of spelt on the human body.
Spelt is the best grain because it is lubricating, fatty, of high nutritional value, and is better tolerated by the body than any other grains. Spelt provides the consumer with good flesh, good blood, and confirms a cheerful disposition.
Here you can see barley. Its stem is comparatively short, and the ear of barley displays long awns that are bent downwards when fully ripened. Compared with other grains, ripe barley is of a deep golden yellow color. When the winter barley is ripe, grain harvest begins. Barley straw is very soft and absorbent. It is for these properties that many animal owners prefer it to other straw. Barley is most commonly used as animal fodder. Our ancestors also roasted barley and used it as a substitute for coffee. Even in modern coffee substitutes, barley is still being used. Barley is also an indispensable ingredient in brewing. And after a hard day of work, everyone enjoys a good beer. Oats. As one can easily recognize, the plant's exterior appearance places oats into a separate category. The seed pods do not have the usual form of an ear, but develop into a panicle. Oats are a cultivated summer grain, and as oats are sown in March and April, they are harvested rather late in the year. Oats are mostly used as fodder for horses and for human consumption in the form of oatmeal. A simple yet very tasty meal is, for instance, oatmeal pottage. A frequently undervalued product is oat bran. Oat bran has multiple uses, for instance, as an additive stirred into fruit yogurt, as dough for making pancakes, or boiled in milk as bran mash. oat bran has extraordinary health benefits and acts as a general cleansing agent for the body. Wheat is the most important and most cultivated grain in agriculture. Wheat, however, requires a heavy and rich soil with a high water storage capacity. As one can easily see, wheat does not have any husks, hence it can be directly processed or used as fodder. The light yellow color of the ripe plant is caused by the ear's fork, which prevents the individual grains from dropping out during the ripening process. With this gadget, the farmer can measure the moisture level of the grain. The optimal value is around 15%. Wheat gets its excellent baking properties from the high gluten content. The grinding fineness of the wheat determines its ash content. The higher this value, the darker and more valuable is the flour. Wheat flour of type 1050 contains more minerals and a higher amount of dietary fiber than wheat flour of the type 405. The fifth grain is rye. It is the longest of the 5 grain plants and extremely robust in terms of soil requirements and pest infestation. On the other hand, rye can become infected with ergot, a fungus initially greatly feared. However, government measures have brought this fungal infection under control. Rye flour produces a hearty and tasty bread. For the farmer, however, it is more economical to use the immature plant in its entirety for energy production. On the other hand, any long-term cultivation results in reduced soil fertility as no humus is contained on the land. We close our presentation with a small anecdote. As usual, a farmer was once again unhappy with the weather. He swore and blamed God. "Oh Lord, why can't I make the weather?" The good Lord heard him and agreed that our farmer could make the weather for 1 year. And full of joy he let it rain and let the sun shine as he thought best. When the corn was ready for harvest, the farmer proudly looked upon his fields and could hardly wait for the threshing to begin. But what was that? All the grains were empty. Perplexed, he addressed the Creator, who replied, "Did you remember that you also need the wind to fertilize the plants?" Humbly, the farmer realized that humans can never succeed in controlling nature, and from that day onwards, he confidently accepted any weather that occurred.